Hey, hey, hey.
So
Hey?
tell me, is this bulltrap in the room with us right now?
What?
Okay, so if you can
Yes.
see, I'm a bull psychiatrist talking to someone.
Oh,
who
your
thinks
little clipboard there is really cut off. I can tell what it is now that you're...
Yeah. And I'm talking to a patient who thinks they see bull traps everywhere. Oh, this leg is gonna get sold. Oh, the next price. Oh. Well,
And
I'll
they might
tell
be
you.
right. No.
Holy fuck balls shit. Alts are going a new level of bananas.
YouTube just squashed our entire reach for that. Thank you.
Yeah.
No. Go.
Holy moly. It is bullish out there, guys. Whatever weakness you see this morning in spot or in the market, I have a feeling everyone is selling stocks and ETH to go buy artificial intelligence coins. Up 30%, up 15%, up 60%, up 12%. I mean, across my entire screen. Ocean.
Can you guys tell what FMC is invested in right now?
I pounded the table on Ocean on this show at 15 cents, 26
You
cents.
didn't even know it was an AI coin. You were like... No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I am not. Here's the thing. Tell me less. Do you understand that I was born to do? I don't need to know anything. Just show me the name. I'm a glorified horse bettor. Okay. Oh, that's an interesting name of that horse. Yep, it's gonna win the race. It doesn't. Do you understand? I didn't even. That is how good I am. I didn't even know it was an AI coin. I didn't even know it was an AI coin. I just gave R2 the hottest tip on the street right now. He's like, what's the name of the...
successfully.
He's like, is this the name of it? I was like, I'm not sure what its name is. Let me go check. All I know is the symbol. That's all I need to know. I'm telling you guys, it's the mud. I guess it goes without saying, it's fucking alt season. And something happened yesterday in the stock market.
Snow season here, man.
You're making me jealous.
We got the snow. We got that. I woke up. I went to bed last night pretty late. I did a late night gym thing, which I've been trying to do more of. I don't really know why, but I find I sleep really well after it. So I've kind of been doing that. No snow. Raining, no snow. Woke up, tons of fucking snow. I love it. The good snow too, right? Like the nice fluffy stuff.
Yes. And I'll tell you right now, there is a weather pattern coming through the northern part of the United States that many are familiar with called El Nino that is threatening a white winter here, especially in New York. The latest New York has ever gone without snowfall is January 29th. We're actually creeping up on that record.
You've had snowfall though, haven't you?
Nope. Not even. We have not. The official meteorological weather station for New York is in Central Park. We have not even had 1 inch of snow yet.
No shit.
Officially measured. So
January 29th is the day?
Yeah, that is the longest New York has ever gone without snowfall on record.
And do you want to break that record?
God, come on. You're asking me? You know I'm a snowman. I'd go live in the northern mountains if I could. I'm very sad that we haven't had snow this year. I yearn to go skiing, and I want to roll around naked in the snow. Maybe that was too much information.
No, hey. That snowman has an extra appendage, but whatever. Or the snow angel, sorry.
Hey now. Anyway.
Hey. Well, what is it? Happy Friday, guys. Friday the 13th. So that's good, right? Friday the 13th. We're bullish on Friday the 13th.
That's a lucky day in my family. I kid you not.
Is it?
He's weird that way. Yeah, we believe.
I know some people take it really seriously. Some people do not.
We actually take it seriously, just the opposite of most people.
Like, yeah, seriously, and like, I can't go out today. It's Friday the 13th. It could be bad.
My family is from the south of France, may have Templar blood in them, and Friday the 13th has its scary mythical status because of what happened to the Knights Templar on Friday the 13th.
You mean they're not still around?
What'd you say?
They're not around still?
The Knights Templar?
Yeah.
I mean, they are in the form of the Masons and the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. That was the point. And something very, very special happened in traditional markets yesterday. On Monday, I stuck my neck out. I said, you know what? We're at the top of the range. We've been smacked down a bunch. We got important numbers coming. Jerome Powell speaking, but I am going to stick my neck out and tell you it's bullish this time. We're breaking the top of the range. Why? I had already started to see breakout momentum underneath the surface. What is breakout momentum? It is the strongest technical signal you can get in a bear market. It's a measure of internals. It looks inside. You know, most people buy a stock and they look at the time and the price. I bought this stock at $400 today. I hope it goes up to $600 in a week, and I am going to watch it over that time. Your average sophisticated stock operator will tell you they're watching the internals, okay? You may know the advanced decline board, the heat map, the New York summation index. There's many ways to measure internals, oscillators, RSI, but once you understand what you're looking at, they're all kind of telling you the same thing. Something very rare happened yesterday. We got a certain number of high breadth days in a row. That sounds simple. I will put a link. It's in my Substack if you want to go find it now, but I will put a link to the article about breakaway momentum. It is the strongest indication of a bottom in markets. The technical analyst who coined it is already willing to stick his neck out and say a new bull market has started, and I agree with him. But this just goes back to my thesis I talked about on Monday. Right now, as they were trying to scare you to shit in the last 2 weeks of December, if you take the previous 3 months of data, it looks like a soft landing. Now, why are we down? Because soft landings are impossible. Nobody believes it. 100% of economists will tell you it can't happen. The labor market's going to crash. It just hasn't happened yet. It's a matter of time. Recession is coming. Well, eventually you get to a point where now the onus is on those people who are saying that, because every piece of data is indicating inflation is dead, yet the labor market and the economy are holding in very strong. The longer that goes on, the more we're going to drift up until it is proven that the recession is coming. So onus is starting to be on. But now we have earnings season coming up. It's likely to be very mixed. It's going to be a local top in markets. But there's a reason, if you were watching CNBC yesterday, that you saw the soft landing scenario start to gain steam. And that is what is kind of taking over markets right now. So there is a macro tailwind. There are micro bullish technical structures. And unlike last year, they seem to be playing out.
Are we winning? Are you winning, son?
We're winning, Dad.
I think we're getting there.
We're good. And again, NFTs took that pause we thought they would take, especially because not only did they take a major leg up from their lows, but you have ETH rallying. And again, somebody who sees their worthless NFTs actually worth something for the first time in a while, and ETH is up 20, 30%. Well, you're going to snatch that money quickly. You've now been programmed to sell everything, right? So this is that moment when the people who sold early are starting to get that FOMO. And it's going to take another week of up only for them to really chase. But that's it's really the idea of lag. Nobody is saying it's a soft landing. Nobody is saying that it's definitely going to be the bullish scenario. The problem is banks, as they told you at the end of last year, are positioned for the most bearish scenario possible. Well, now they have to go to a more neutral stance because, again, it's a soft landing until it's not. And that's just where we are right now. Ocean 26.5 cents, closing in on 27.
We're running. Yeah, things are running. Nice little, quite a big rally in crypto, actually. Nice to see some of those gains start to come back. GM guys, Fellboy, Salami, Sandman, Catfish, Vintage, the Cryptoon goons out in full force again. Kyle, what's up, dude? Cuffed. Can I see this guy's OpenSea portfolio? What do you want to see? GM Eric. I mean, I see that you have the 888 ring around your PFP there, so I'd like to see your OpenSea portfolio. Oh man, yeah. God. Okay, let's pull up the CoinGecko here and start talking about some of these coins, because I know you want to get into that. But Bitcoin, I think is going to take a stab at 19K, which should be pretty bullish there.
ETH, more bullish than ETH. I mean,
well, ETH, as you said, broke through that 1350. Well, I mean, it was like 3 weeks ago that you were a full-on Bitcoin maxi, so I don't know.
No. I just meant that in this last day or two, Bitcoin has outperformed ETH. When I was like, holy shit, Bitcoin is really taking a nice leg up here. 20,000, the obvious overhead resistance there, but boy, like I said, given the stock market's down a little bit right now. I think most people after yesterday expected to come into a flatter up open, and they're like, oh my God, it's down. What's kind of happening here? Let's see if it reverses by the end of the day. I don't know. This weekend, just as everyone's starting to feel bullish again, with crypto as the only thing to trade, boy, we may see a leg up this weekend. I don't know. It's very, 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 very bullish, especially on that Bitcoin chart. And we've talked a lot about an echo bubble. Shout out to GCR Classic. Guys, if you're not following him on Twitter, he's just one of the gigabrain traders out there. A good trader, it does not matter if they're trading horses or if they're trading stocks or if they're trading crypto. It's all the same skill set. And when you identify people that just have it, he's a great follow. And he talked about something called an echo bubble. This isn't something he invented. As one of the more recent examples, if you look at the NASDAQ in 2001, it had a 45%, 50% rally off its lows after that big pop in 99, 2000, when all the tech stocks, led by those internet companies with no revenue, took everything down, right? That saw some pretty nice echo rallies afterwards. And I think, again, the theory of this economic lag, which has kind of plagued analysts all year and messed up their timing, you can see in the high frequency data that inflation is continuing to go down in the future. Wages are cooling, housing is dying, and those are the sticky parts in the report. If you remove out that from yesterday's CPI report, I mean, we are really going in the right direction with literally no effect on labor. Continues to just come in real rosy. In fact, the only place you're seeing it slow down a bit is wages. That is the perfect scenario, because what that would imply is more people are starting to go back to work. So there's less pressure on employers to raise wages. And that's the exact part of the labor picture that the Fed is worried about, right? So again, it's about narratives shifting here and who the onus is on to prove. The onus has been on the bulls to prove their case for a while, and right now it looks like they are right. It doesn't mean they are right, but markets are about evidence and narratives, and usually by the time you find out if evidence or a narrative was right, they've already sold the news. So that's why it's more about understanding the market's perspective and narrative, whether it's right or wrong, than saying, well, I know this is what's going to happen, so I'm sticking to my guns. Well, so much up and down could happen in between. There's no reason to get into the right game. Just figure out what the Muppets are doing. Go watch the dodos running in both directions. Figure out how they're thinking and profit off it.
Yeah, well, we have some altcoins running for sure, as you mentioned. Alt season back. I mean, this is just the ones in the top 100, but the 24 hours. I mean, Aptos having a nice little run there. Aptos is something that we never really talked about, but damn, up 80% in the last 7 days. So maybe having a nice little heater there.
Aptos maybe the last chance at an alt L1 cycle. After that bubble, especially with Sam's fingers all in Solana in the wrong ways. And the idea that maybe an alt L1 bubble never comes back. Well, there's your we're gonna try one more time. That would be your act.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Solana not really having that the same kind of pump today, up 2%, not much different than most of the other kind of top 30, 40 coins. But
your coin
23% on the day on the week, Solana was down bad too, though. I mean, it wasn't really getting off the floor when some of the other things were either. And I don't really have a lot of long-term bullish prospects for Solana, especially when we talked about things like DeGods and Utes migrating away from it. Like, I just think they're a marketing company. Let's face it; they are good at keeping attention and stirring the pot a little bit, but. When the premier collection on Solana is just like, yeah, we out, I don't feel good about it. And couple that with, the FTX stuff, which is still ongoing. We're not out of the woods for Solana.
I think in a way it's overblown just because we know that Frank DeGods is trying to leverage always leverage more, which is a smart move. Is that
attention? Yeah, he's just
attention for your project.
Oh, they're transferring to ETH. It got us to talk about it too, right? Like, they were also paid $3 million by Polygon to bring Utes over, so not nothing either.
Yeah. So what's the harm? And long term, I don't think I really don't think it matters to the Solana ecosystem. Like I said, I actually know some very legitimate projects that are building on the DeFi side there.
Solana didn't offer them $5 million to stay.
No. And there are some gaming companies that are still building very aggressively on Solana. So again, it's not that Solana is going to $200. But I do think that people are still going to give it a try as a chain, though I would bet you every entity that I just named has people working on a migration plan right now. That doesn't mean they're going to execute it, but
the exploration process of,
it would be irresponsible not having it.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on how easily transferable it is too, especially when you're working on like more in-depth type code. Utes and DeGods are probably pretty basic to get a contract rewritten, whereas you talk about things. I mean, that was one of the things that Phantom was really cool for when we were talking about that, was that, apart from a couple lines of code, very, very transferable from Ethereum to Phantom network, right? So they made that kind of cross compatibility very easy. Solana is not quite as easy as that. But we'll see. So what's going on, Ashtray? Good to see you in here.
What up, baby?
My random phone ringing there, and Cuffed. Yeah, man, I was just messing around with you. You have 4 founders nodes for Gala Games. I'm happy for you. I'm sure that's doing very well for you.
I genuinely don't even know what that means, but I congratulate you on your...
Oh, it's a founders node for Gala.
I don't even know what Gala Games is, but it shows how out of touch I am with the Utes. Not the project, the people under the age of 30.
Oh, the youth. Oh,
that is what you're playing on, right? That is because all of the Utes are wearing kind of juvenile clothing. So I assume that they're playing on the term youths. Isn't that what you assumed, or am I crazy?
No, I don't know what I assumed. I never really made that connection or that leap. You could be onto something. I never really put that much thought process into that project, if I'm being completely honest with you. How are they doing, by the way? Has it been... I don't even know where to look. Magic Eden. Maybe
all I know is that Matic is up to 90 cents again after getting down to like 65, 70 cents. And I couldn't be more bullish on at this point, it's basically blue chip status. And if it went 10x, it'd be one of the largest coins out there. So this isn't your 100 or 1000x gem for the next bull market. But this is as close to blue chip status as you get in crypto coins at this point, I think. This is...
Yeah, I mean, with the amount of partnerships and names they have signed on, you would assume that something like that is not going away, right? Like if you had to do a list of top 5, you'd probably almost have to, like, top 5 like safest bets. You'd have to kind of include it at this point.
every time we brought up Solana back when it was $200, my joke was just fold and become an L2 for ETH already. We know it's what your eventual life is going to end up being, and that's kind of what just happened. Everyone fought Polygon. Instead of folding and becoming an ETH layer 2 like I suggested, which they may still be very healthy today, Solana, you never know. Instead, they decided to go the independent path.
Well, I mean, I know Solana is not entirely an NFT platform, but I'm looking at the volume here. This is more specifically OpenSea volume. But there is still some life coming back in NFTs. We are seeing like a slow, gradual trend up in the daily volume if we look back since October 15th. And I mean, those were like the dog days of just NFT winter. It's not substantial. It's not like we've like 2, 3, 4, 5x'd it. But we're looking like halfway through, not even halfway through January, we are going to surpass December's volume. And December was the first month in a while that we had up that was previous from the previous month, right? So two consecutive up months is going to start to feel pretty good. And maybe reach the bottom. But, again, as we've talked about on the previous shows, it doesn't feel like we're completely out of the woods yet from the macro situation. As Free Market has said, we could see a pretty good early part of the year and then a down part of the second half of 2023. It's kind of all up in the air, right? But my general feeling, I tend to lean towards being bullish about things. I still do feel like we got 12 months left at least.
There's this was my thesis, if you've been following for the last few weeks, was that everybody expects the market to go down in the first half and go up in the second half. I said I'm a very simple contrarian this year, and I'm not saying we're not going down. I just say flip it on its head. We're going up in the first half, down in the second half. Though I'll go even deeper on my theory and tell you I don't think we're going to go down in the second half for the reasons everyone thinks. I actually think we're only going to go down in the second half because everyone got way too bullish in the first half. I do think that the soft landing scenario is going to play. Now, I gave you my very unbiased analysis early on. This is my biased, take it, with a grain of salt prediction. But I do think the soft landing scenario is going to play out. And as it becomes evident into April, May, June, people are going to get way too fucking bullish. Like the S&P will get up to 4,600 and people are going to be like, oh my God, it really is a soft landing, all-time highs coming, blah, blah, blah. And the only reason we'll see a second half pullback is because the people, it's just a sentiment that everyone realizes what's, once people realize what's going to happen, it becomes that sell the news situation. So the minute everyone capitulates and go, okay, J-Pow did it, it's actually a soft landing, we're just going to get a pullback for pullback's sake. Now, I believe that pullback will line up with, say, 3 bad months of random data, right? So let's say the first 6 months of the year have been this, wow, we can't believe it, all data grade soft landing. Then all of a sudden in June, we get like a random majorly negative labor report that we didn't expect. Everyone's going to go, oh my God, see, the recession is coming. It was just late. Everybody sells. So I think the reactions this year are going to be very extreme in both directions. But when we in December look back, we're going to realize it was a very normal year where we had, a few months of bad data, 6 months of good data, and then another few months of mixed data here and there. And that's usually how most years go. But because everybody has been turned into fight or flight mode and our lizard brains are activated and every rally is a V-shape back to all-time highs and every pullback is to zero, as long as our brains are still in that mode, the reactions this year are going to be extreme. But I believe when we look back, it's actually going to be a relatively normal year. And I think that we'll probably top out between 44 and 4,600 on the S&P in the early half of the year, which translates to 2,000, 2,500 on ETH, 30, 35,000 on Bitcoin, maybe even a little higher just to really fool people, right? To really make them think it's then we get a big sentiment wash in the second half of the year, maybe pull back to 37, 3,800 on the S&P. And again, it'll be under the guise of, the bad data is here. The recession is actually coming. I think by November, December, it'll be obvious it was just a few months of bad data. And then 2024, it's stupid to go out that far with the theory, but I just think that that's kind of how this year is going to play out. We'll take it level to level. You should have your yearly plan in place, and then you adjust it as reality unfolds. Nobody has a crystal ball here, but this is so far kind of what I thought was happening, with everyone getting way too bearish the last weeks of December and sentiment just going max bear with no new info. In fact, if you look at all the info over the last 3 months, it's everything we wanted to see. So far, between that and the technical aspect of breakaway momentum, which again, I will get you guys a link in the AlphaMint Discord, but really, really nice setup here. I'm in a buy weakness mode. If I see days where we're down 5-10% random days, it's a buy weakness mode. I just am for at least, the next few months. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of good buying opportunities there too, and especially if you're just accumulating on a slower pace too. Like if you haven't had a lot of liquidity available to start picking things up, if you have outside capital going into, you can start to accumulate things that you think have a good, 6 month to 1 year outlook. I think there's a ton of good deals out there. You want to shift the conversation into NFTs a little bit here?
Yeah, baby.
Let's talk about, I guess, maybe some news first. I'm going to start with the Beeple thing, only because there's not a lot of information about that. But if you didn't see on Twitter yesterday, Beeple announcing a new project. He tweeted out 2 years later, and then I guess that's March 11th, 2023. I'm assuming that that's the order in which the date is playing out. But saying more details next week. I don't think Beeple would announce a project in November, so we're going with March. But some speculation on what this is. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a PFP. Beeple doing a PFP doesn't seem incredibly on brand or whatnot, but it's definitely going to be something to watch for. And, obviously somebody who commands a lot of attention, has some of the biggest sales in NFT history, doing something new could be something that either brings some fun back to the NFT space. Hard to say where we'll be in 2 months' time, or it could be right in the middle of a nice little NFT run and kind of bolsters things. So it's gonna be fun to watch about. We'll keep an eye out for more news. I'm assuming most people follow Beeple if you're on Twitter, regardless. But I don't know. Do you have any ideas on what you think it is?
I think the last news item related to Beeple we heard was him. Was it taking investment for his studio to bring NFTs to life? What was that? Do you remember what I'm
talking? Yeah. He was creating a physical studio, I think in New York, right?
Yeah, exactly. So Beeple's art, for me, it's hit and miss. Like, I think I like maybe 1 in every 4 or 5 of his pieces, right? He's not the type of artist that I go nuts for, like a Fiwo, where like all of his art speaks to me and I want to hang it in his house. And I will make a note that I think the next hype upcoming mint would be the Fiwo PFP project. I don't know if they've announced how you can be whitelisted, though I think we can assume if you own any of his pieces, you got a good shot. There are artifact Fiwo pieces that are cheaper than obviously his independent artwork that he makes, because even his independent artwork, he has large editions where they're not as cheap, they're not as expensive as his one-of-ones. But back to Beeple, I think whatever you personally think of his art, he is an artist's artist. I trust him to think outside of the box. I was very, very encouraged and interested in the idea of him building the studio to quote unquote bring NFTs to life. I think at the time we cited his piece that was at Sotheby's. He's made another one since that's displayed in Europe of the astronaut walking in a 3D box. That is an
incredible, yeah.
Absolutely incredible work.
When I first saw that, I literally thought it was a 3D render of like a gallery with a box in it, and they're like, no, that's actually a real thing.
And I even think that is crude compared to what people are going to do in the idea of bringing NFT technology to life. Okay. And because of that, while I have no idea.
Going back to our previous conversation on Wednesday, I would imagine that there will be some augmented reality aspects to it too.
Definitely. Well, and that's the thing, I was even thinking today, the idea of virtual pets is going to be huge once you have augmented reality. Who isn't going to have a little baby Pikachu that just hangs around their house and jumps on the furniture and stuff, right? Like there's so much we're not even thinking about, and NFT technology is just the perfect thing to back all of it, to legitimize, because they'll of course be the people who just knock everything off for your the augmented reality knockoff apps.
What happens if your wallet gets hacked and you lose your pet Pikachu though?
You got to put up those posters around the neighborhood just like you would.
Have you seen this?
The cat up a tree. So I think that I'm excited for what this is, because I highly doubt, though I have no info, that this is going to be a PFP project for people. I hope it's something cool and interesting. I think
that would fall really flat, honestly. Like it's something that like it's so off brand for him.
It is. So excited to see what Beeple does here. And for those whitelist hunters out there, this is certainly one, along with Fiwo's project. I'd be doing all your research and shaking all your trees, figuring out how to get in on this mint. These will be.
We actually don't even know that it's a mint.
Oh, we don't? All right. So there you go.
Well, I mean, this, as far as I could tell, is all he's released, though. Well, that's what I was thinking. Analyze saying it's going to be the grand opening of his studio, right? Very well could be. And maybe there's like a mint associated with attending if you go. I don't know. There's lots of cool things that he probably could do. Yeah. And him being the NFT pioneer that he is, I'm sure it will be something very non-standard. But yeah, my mind was immediately going to the opening of his studio, which
it was the first thing I thought of too. But I bet you he's not going to open it without having something to show us at least. But
I agree. I doubt kind of like when Tyler Hobbs did the mint with the live reveal, like in person, like the mint was a ticket to the show or whatever, right?
Well, I was even thinking, like as a project, you should almost be thinking yourself about the hardware. How do you want your NFTs to be displayed in the real world? Like I was even thinking, this is top secret stuff I can't even talk about. I guess that's all I can say. If you're a project, I would be thinking yourself about what kind of awesome ass hardware should my NFT be again, it's not just the idea here shouldn't be just a screen. It shouldn't, that's what your smartphone is. It's not a cool way to display your NFTs.
No, and it's when you're sharing it with people, especially if they're not in NFTs, you have to like jam your phone in the face, and there's nothing more obnoxious than like, look at this picture.
For something that's not even like people won't even look at like the most interesting videos you send them. It's like, I'm not watching a fucking video. Like the thing that like it's
you're one of those friends, eh?
Right. Oh, yeah. I hate when people send me YouTube. Thank God that trend ended. Like people used to send YouTube videos. Oh my God.
That trend hasn't ended. Maybe people just stopped sending them to you because you knew that then you weren't watching them.
Well, you know what I think it is?
You ended that trend for yourself.
Now everybody sees the same thing because anybody you're friends with, your social media algorithms put the same content in all your streams because they want you all to go, hey, did you see you did see that with the leopard licking the... It's like, yeah, okay.
No, I did not see that. You know what's killing me right now is have you watched White Lotus?
I heard good things, but I haven't watched it.
I started watching it. I haven't watched a ton of it, so I have no in-depth analysis of how much I like it or not. But the theme song of it, now people are making memes of the theme song where they're like, blah, 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 like the SpongeBob doing it and like overlaying the theme song to it. It kills me every time. I don't know why. I find it fucking hilarious. But
I'll tell you what I watched last night. That was
sidebar. That
was Mindy Kaling's Velma on HBO Max, which is a rethinking of the Scooby universe. I'm not even going to say anything. All I'm going to say is that everybody listening to the show needs to go watch the first episode.
She's good, man. She's funny.
You need to go watch the first. This isn't a light suggestion. Go watch the first episode.
Well, she was one of the producers on The Office too, right? Like a lot of people found her grating on the Office just because that's what her character was. But
do not sit down with your kids thinking this is the new Scooby. Watch this by yourself with your, not with your children.
Not family friendly. Okay, got it.
That's all.
I'll try to check it out. I don't know, another one to move into, the Game of Thrones reveal. Oh, I do have the wrong collection. This was awful. I think I have the wrong collection.
The one up for me. I didn't see him.
God, where were they? I should have checked that link when I clicked it. They were really bad.
Warner Brothers entering the Web3 space.
What's that? Well, we were pretty.
Hope for Warner Brothers entering the Web3 space.
This isn't Warner Brothers.
It isn't.
Game of Thrones is HBO.
Yes, Warner Brothers owns HBO.
Do they?
Yeah.
I knew that.
I know, you're just testing the audience.
Yeah. No, I actually didn't know that. I don't know. You guys and your American companies, I finally just have access. I'm happy to have access to HBO now.
Like, I will give you the balance sheet of every poutine operator within a 3-mile radius of this house. But don't.
Yeah, nobody knows poutines like I do, so screw you, all right? Man, that's actually kind of embarrassing. I actually did not know that.
Yeah. That's why they have all the
show's over.
Looney Tunes and Scooby on HBO Max now. It's a Warner Brothers problem.
All right, here we go. I have a better link here. Yeah, these are hideous. It was a nice try, but
was it a nice?
I think we could have done better. Salad fingers.
Did people have to pay for these, or were they a free mint?
No, they were paid.
Well,
We're trying. I don't know. Whatever. I don't have much comment on that. I think. Well, we thought that the. Nah, never mind. Whatever.
It looks like a video game from 2001.
Yeah, it's not. I feel like some better work could have been done over here. Good memes coming out of it though. But you know what though? Not as funny as like the Pixelmon reveal. Like I know people lost a lot of money on that, but like there was some real memeability from this. This was just like, oh god, like it's horrible.
I'll tell you know, you get the thing is it a good meme just it's organic.
Oh.
I don't know. The problem is
Analyze saying it's like having a Kevin. It's a grail now. I don't know.
These are very similar to some serious NFT projects. They're not different enough like Pixelmon to gain any memeage. They just look like some other bad NFT projects that have attempted similar art. Jesus.
What's that? What are you doing?
No, I have alerts set. Holy shit, Caesars over $48. I just put the room in Caesars stock at $42 and it's at 48 right now. Options just ramping. It's been nice.
Like the gambling empire Caesars?
Yes. The owner of the World Series of Poker. As you can imagine, it's a stock I like to watch closely for sentimental reasons. It was also my grandmother's favorite casino.
Caesars, yeah. I've been to Caesars. I didn't spend too much time there, but
yeah, it used to be Harrah's. Harrah's owned Caesars, but they switched over to the Caesars branding because it's just so much better.
Better branding.
Harrah. No one knows what a Harrah is.
Feed picks. Oh my god! I was gonna say feed picks bouncing back to 0.11 when I opened the tab. Now 0.16. 50% up just in the last hour. Wow.
And Archie begged you to buy.
I did not beg anyone to buy. I said that I was thinking about buying, and lo and behold, I can tell you I did not. Whoops. It wasn't for any particular reason other than I just probably got distracted. I don't know. But
you get
look, they are a meme and they are running. They did get down as low as I think 0.06 again after we were talking about them. But closing in on 1,200 ETH volume traded, feed picks are. I was going to try and come up with some kind of pun there. I'm not feeling that this morning, though. Make a pun, please.
A pun?
No, you can't do it on command. Dance, monkey.
Yeah, no, I should have. I was trying to think, but then I just got distracted by number go up. It's bullish out there.
Yeah, there's definitely. I mean, some of the projects that we talked about that we're getting the pumps have given most of it back. Like we said, maybe hovering around 2x of what they were at the lowest of the lows. But there's still a little bit of volume kicking around. Like I said on that.
Lemons had another small sweep the other day, and that's just to say we don't know 100% if NFTs are coming back. But I will tell you, if they do. any of those projects that pumped the last few weeks, they're telling you these are the ones that are going to put. Those are people positioning early. They may be wrong, but if they're right, I can tell you what's going to happen. Go out and buy some of those cheap ass star catchers. And what were the other ones that rallied? I'm blanking now.
There's tons of them.
Everyone knows. Everyone knows. Everyone knows. And it's an echo bubble, guys.
Stomping on the competition. Feed picks are running. There we go. Running. Oh my God. How did I even miss that?
We're not looking for all-time highs. But I will tell you right now that star catchers could do 0.4, lemons can do 0.3, the Mecca can do 3 ETH. You know, all these collections can do a 5 to 10x from where they are. If volume comes back into NFTs, people, it's just going to be rolling pumps. So just have your NFTs listed 5 to 10x from where they are. So because you never know when it could come while you sleep and you miss it. The pumps are quick. I am telling you, whatever happens in the first year is not, we're back, everybody rush in. It is your time to raise liquidity where you can and prepare to deploy it aggressively either in the second half of the year or sometime in 2024. It may not even be the beginning of 2024. We have to see. Too far out. We don't, no one knows that far out, but there's a lot to unfold. This next NFT bull market should be about you raising liquidity. They're not coming back. Even if NFTs went back to their all-time ETH highs, they'd be down at least 50%, even if ETH gets back to 2K, right? So
the Feed Picks Twitter is actually a good. They get a follow. I don't even know any of these. I actually, they are. I actually want to unfollow now. I'm unfollowing. I don't want this all over my feed.
Those feet are tickling you.
Oh yeah, that makes me uncomfortable. But they are actually killing it on. I love these. Like, if Feet Picks reaches a 1/8 floor, I will eat my own shit. This is nonsense. Feets are going to point to you on the weekend, or I will cut my dick with a plastic spoon. I don't even know what's going on here. This is incredible. Cuffed, I don't know if this is one of your first times tuning into the show, but don't worry. We are very bullish on NFTs. But, I mean, whenever you're talking about this stuff, you have to acknowledge the non-0% chance that something happens, for sure.
Yeah,
I don't think free market's saying that, this stuff might not ever come back. But
I was bullish on NFTs when everybody in this room was laughing at them. All right, understand that. People who are now deep into NFTs as early as last February or March thought I was crazy. And for the 2 years before that, when I loved them, they thought I was even crazier. God, if you mentioned NFTs, you were just marginalized, an idiot. And we're talking about in the crypto community. I'm not even talking about normies. Normies had no idea what you were talking about. Within crypto, you were a pariah. You were a fucking pariah. And, now, again, we just need to work off a massive bubble. That's all. It's that NFTs will be back. The next bubble will be bigger than the last one in magnitude. Bigger.
Oh yeah, we had like at our peak we had like 14 daily active users, right? Like,
I'm telling you, this isn't. we have not even seen it yet. There will be more. There will be more.
I'm still trying to figure out what the hell happened with this Dreadfuls collection. In prepping for the show, I always like click on OpenSea. Let's go with this one. Like, you go to the rankings. Oh, let's see what's kind of been trending on OpenSea. Dreadfuls. Oh, okay. Volume 2,000 ETH in the last day. What the hell's going on here? I open it up. I mean, and this can't be right. Like, 783,000 ETH in volume. Something's bugged.
No NFT collection's ever taken in that much, right? Where's Bored Ape at 1 million yet? I don't even.
Ooh, that's a good question.
I don't think Bored Ape is anywhere.
CryptoPunks might actually be higher. Maybe not. Something's wrong here. Yeah, something's wrong. 4 million ETH in Meebits. OpenSea's bugging. I think these are right, though. I think Bored Ape and CryptoPunks here are correct. Dots? No, yeah, something's way wrong. Dots at almost 1 million ETH. Definitely not. I remember those, though. That was a fun moment in NFTs. Hey, that might be something to look at.
Do you guys in the chat think it's irresponsible to talk about shitcoins with a $2.5 million market cap? I'm taking a poll. Everyone type your answer into the chat. But yeah, do you remember this used to be?
What was the question? Sorry, I was reading the chat.
The question was, is it unethical to talk about shitcoins with a $2.5 million market cap on a YouTube show?
Yeah, then you're Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah. So if you guys remember, this was billed as maybe being a Banksy. You know, the treasure hunt in our industry is finding the Banksy project, because we all assume he's not going to be like, hey, this is Banksy, mint is on January 16th, see you there. It's going to be most likely, you know, a secret mint that minted and no one even knows it's, you know, that type of thing. And I remember this one was thought maybe they have connections to Banksy.
August 31st. That was right around the loot box time, or the loot time, right? Mm-hmm. How crazy that got, and Bloot and B Gold and the beanie shit.
Yeah,
wild,
crazy.
Fun time in NFTs. Cuff saying, I stream on Twitch. I went from 60 viewers before talking about NFTs to a solid 10. Yeah, man, we definitely experienced the same thing. We had a point in time where there was routinely about 100 people watching the show, and you know, it ebbs and flows, but it's still fun to do it, and there's still tons of stuff to talk about. And you know, if you keep at it and you keep doing it, I think once the attention comes back, it's going to be good. What a time that was, though. We should do a throwback Thursday or way back Wednesday episode of, like, you know, reminiscing about the old times there.
Yeah, man.
Or do you want to do that? Maybe we just get sad.
I wouldn't get sad.
We can get sad?
No.
Mutant Hound Collars revealed. Boy, did they take a giant dump.
They were almost at ETH, I think.
What's that?
They were almost at 2 ETH at one point.
Yeah. Oh, no, they were. 13,000 ETH in volume on the collars. Those are, of course, the kind of pre-reveal thing, like a CloneX file. You have to, you know, submit them in and get them revealed into another collection. Wow. Okay, so they were slightly up from when I opened this up, but I think they were about 0.85. Oh, no, they're going back down. 0.9 right now. It feels like this is a big gap to be trading at, too. I would expect these mutant collars to drop pretty dramatically. The disparity in that price typically is because you're baking in the prospect of getting a rare or something, but, like, is that really worth a almost 100% premium at this point? I don't think so. So, I mean, if you're in mutant hound collars, you're really just looking for this to rebound quickly. I don't know if it does. I mean, like, individually, I thought that they looked fine. They were pretty on brand. It's, you know, lots to look at, lots to kind of take in. Not great PFPs. I don't know if anybody's arguing for the PFP component of this collection, but I mean, side by side as like an OpenSea collection, it just feels very busy. I don't know.
Well,
not trying to flood anyone's bags if you have these. I don't like. I just I don't know what the prospects of these are, other than there's a lot of name brand holders, and we talked about Lior being head of that mutant cartel.
Well, I was going to tell Cuff. I think that's what it comes down to. This is a mutant ape with a large following, and I think one trend that stays consistent in our industry are apes with large followings getting together, releasing projects, and pretty much always seeing cooks, right? You know, develop a following, and they're going to support you. And I think,
I don't by any means think that these are going to go to zero. I think that I think that they're gonna be able to maintain a community and a following surrounding them, especially because if you kind of were paying attention, the mutant cartel is something that you absolutely have seen pop up in one way or another, whether you knew it or not. Like, they were, you know, that one the proposal video that was really, really cringe. Like, again, I will, you know, die on that hill that was just a marketing campaign for the mutant cartel. But yeah, I don't know. Do I think that these have potential to go lower? Yeah, I mean, especially once you're feeding these things through, the supply dynamics start to change. I don't know. I mean, if they dropped low enough, I wouldn't even be opposed to buying them, but I think I would probably start looking at them like below 0.3 or something like that. Do they get that low? I have no idea, but that would start to be maybe something for me. But
Not me at all.
no, I mean not
I
as
would
like
nothing.
not as in like that would be like more of like a trade. You know what I mean?
There's
Like not.
nothing here. It's a community project. If there was something extremely special about this, I'm sure it would have permeated the like, hey guys, these are going to be 3D and knock on your door and come to your house. There's nothing out of the box here. It's a great cook for those. I don't know what it minted at. I have no idea what the mint. Maybe it minted at 0.5 and it's not, the best cook in the world, but whatever. This is revealed today. Big dump on reveal.
0.25.
And I do think this is largely on the owners. What are they going to do here? What's the project about? What's the next announcement? What's the next marketing? That would be how most of these things go.
I believe that if they were able to kind of zhuzh that up to a 2 ETH floor pre-reveal, that they have some capability of I don't know, whatever.
Oh, I don't doubt them. I'm not saying they can't do it. I just don't think there's anything necessarily interesting here from
maybe I wouldn't buy them just because I don't think I'd want them in my wallet for that long. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I typically try to load up on things that I'm happy with sitting in my wallet for a year or plus, right? Like we talk about begins all the time. Those are kind of an indefinite, like they'll have their moment, no problem. They have had their moment in the past. I like things like 10 KTF as like a cheaper buy to sit on. A Beeple related, a Beeple adjacent project and got acquired by Yuga. So like I do believe that there's probably some long-term prospect and stuff like that. I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of actually just talking myself out of it. It depends on how long they go, like how low they go. I wouldn't touch them above 0.5 anyways, so maybe they don't even do that.
I don't think the next phase in the market is the projects that we've been talking about for a couple of weeks start to go up again. I think the next phase is mints. I think we're going to start getting degen mints, shit under 0.1.
That's true. We've had some mints, but it has the minting component of NFTs have not been nearly as prominent as they have been.
And think about it
in full-blown bull markets, right?
0.04, 0.05, 0.06. That's like a 0.15, 0.2 mint back. This is excuse me. It's like a 0.01 or a 0.02 mint. We're going in the
dollar value.
I was thinking backwards, my brain.
Yes.
But this is a 0.04 mint is much cheaper than it used to be. And I think you're going to start seeing these flying out now. And those cooks, once people start making money on those, that's what's going to start flowing in to the projects you saw with the little pops over the last few weeks. So that's what I'd be on the lookout for next. And then guess what we're due for? The next Azuki. It's been a year. And this, whether R2 believes it or not, this is NFT seasonality. And we are going to, I believe, see another cook very similar to Azuki that mints at 1 ETH and gets to 10 or 15 ETH. And nobody I'm not talking about captains from meme land that everyone saw coming. Very few people knew about Azuki until it minted. Yes, there were some select alpha rooms early on it. Most people only understood what it was when it just mooned right out of the gate and almost never looked back. So we're due.
That was a wild, like, yeah, and you're right. We are due for like an Azuki like project where you just have that what the fuck is going on. I mean, I remember talking about that on this show when they were like, what, 2-3 ETH, maybe a little bit more, and we were like, yeah, it could go a little bit higher, but that, and then it was like approaching 10, and we were like, probably reaching the top here because we just really hadn't seen anything like it. Not post reveal, not to that magnitude. I mean, we saw things like Mechaverse go absolutely bananas based on hype pre-reveal and then just get absolutely smashed back down. But you're right, Azuki never really looked back. I don't think after it reached those highs that it ever even really flirted with like what 3-4 ETH again. Like, yeah, like it was never even really felt in danger, and 6 even felt really low for it.
Yep. Yeah, I think the lowest it got was after the Zagabond controversy, which was between 5 or
That's right.
6.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
about as low as it's gotten, and it remains your heir apparent. Now, is that going to last? I mean, Cool Cats was the heir apparent for a long time. Right now, it's Azuki, and you can't argue. It's a 15 ETH floor price. They're kicking all the other people in their category. They're taking them to the cleaners, and this next thing we're about to talk about, speaking of Azuki, looks fucking fabulous. And I'm not an Azuki fan.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've never owned an Azuki. I don't own anything to do with Azukis. I did not buy one of the golden skateboards. Missed out on that auction. Oops. No, but like
Two of those things too. You just missed it by a bit.
well, they're getting a golden skate park. No, Azuki announced Halumia. I guess this is now Azuki's turn to get into the metaverse and what we expect to be a token. Azuki is funny because I like the art. I always thought it was really good looking PFPs. They worked well as PFPs, albeit sometimes a little dark. Um, Man, Azuki people hate when you compare them to anything else, or even criticize that the prospect that they're not a god tier PFP. But I always thought that they were good. I always thought their branding was great. I remember pre-mint looking at their website and being like, this just feels like very solid. It feels like there was a lot of effort put into it. It's very clean. And it just feels like the kind of brand that you could be talking about for a while, or that people will kind of gravitate towards. It just everything felt good. They absolutely nailed it with the airdrop, like the Wiz Khalifa on stage. Check your wallets. It was such an exciting, fun time. They really have done all of the right things. The one thing I will say is that they haven't really done a lot of innovative things. And before some people get the pitchforks out, like, I'm sorry, the what did they call it? The fidgetal items, the
Yeah.
skateboards with the soul bound, or not soul bound, the scannable token and whatnot. I mean, that's VeChain. We've had all of this technology and we've seen stuff like that. They're just great at marketing it and wrapping it up in a really, really nice package.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. But it does kind of feel like they are successfully following in Yuga's footsteps, now just doing what seems to be a metaverse in Halumia and leaning towards, I guess people are saying, beans tokens. So, um,
Package.
what's that? Yeah, yeah, exactly. But I mean, again, like you look at the announcement and you go, this isn't revolutionary whatsoever, but fuck, does it ever look good? You know what I mean? Like, from a gaming standpoint, I'm like, this looks like the kind of game that I would love to jump into as a character, run around this nice little village and explore. Yeah, I guess I don't see a product. Like, I guess you said it in AlphaMint. Like, innovation can be overrated. Sometimes you can just do things that have been done in the past really well, right?
Almost always overrated. It's very rare that the person who innovates figures out how to put it in a sellable package. Very rare. Very rare. The best.
Yeah, people forever still do. Oh, Facebook just copied MySpace. They did it
Yeah,
better.
exactly. I mean, there's the famous quote that's attributed to Picasso. I'm not sure if it's real or not, that good artists steal great, or good artists copy, great artists steal, right? And it's true. Everything is about inspiration. And I think that when you see a company like Apple, as we used the example earlier this week, they just understood how to take technology that's been around a long time and put it in a package that appealed to people. And Azuki is obviously excelling at that within the NFT space. This looks fabulous. You know what I mean? And no one's played it yet. We'll have to see. But when you think about the different types of video games people like, well, the other side looks like one people would buy. This one looks like one people would buy. So at least the marketing material is right on with these things.
Yeah, what is Azuki sitting at right now? I should have opened up the OpenSea. We're going to talk about art gobblers in a second, but are we? I think last time I saw they were almost at 17 ETH, maybe just pulling back a little bit there, 15 ETH. They have held up incredibly well during this recessed volume period of NFTs too.
And I mean, one would certainly you can look at the USD price still massively down, but at 4K, you were not paying attention at the USD price. You were only
No,
thinking
1 ETH is 1 ETH for sure.
right, and you should do the same here because, as I said, I think really this next NFT bull we're about to experience is about raising liquidity to get back in at a later time. I don't think we're going to see a bubble like we saw for a few years. Bubbles are different. Will the bull market resume? Will there be cooks all the fucking time? Because the NFT world is just, it's an actual entity now, and it wasn't before. Yes, that's going to be happening the whole way. But I think you want to raise liquidity on the next pump and then deploy it later this year or next year. Doesn't mean sell everything, but
No, I'm a big fan of just finding some spots to take, buying 2, 3, 4 of an NFT, especially at its lows, and then using two or three of them to de-risk and maybe take a little bit of profit, and then having that one sit there for, hopefully a pretty solid run for some serious profit. That's kind of what I did with Oni. And then, I'm looking at Mechaverse for that in the future. But there's, like we've talked about ad nauseum for the past 2 weeks, like there are going to be a ton of projects that you can do that with for sure.
While most people can't
Or
necessarily,
you can be like some people, like good traders do, and they'll sell everything too. Like some people just exit their position entirely, and that's their own style, and it works really, really well for people too.
it has been shown that there's almost always a time you could buy them back cheaper. You just got to get through, like if you sold a little early,
right.
There'll be a FOMO phase, if it's an extra, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think I've decided the absolute best strategy based on the market. And I know everyone can't do it all the time, but it's 4. And why 4?
Yes.
Because if you're right, there's always an initial pump. So you want to sell 1. Then if you were really right, there's the big pump. And if you're only left with 2 after that, it becomes a harder decision. Because what you really want to hold for is the moonshot. Now, if you get a moonshot and you only have 1, that's a tough decision. That right. NFT may be your goddamn personality at this point. You always want to have 2, because if it turns into an Azuki or a CryptoPunks, you need to be able to take profits without exiting.
And that's just it. Like if you had found Bored Apes when they were low, or even minted them, and say you minted 2 or 3, like, okay, wow, it ran up to 1 ETH. That's incredible. Sell 1. Oh my God, it's at 5 ETH now. Sell the other. Now you're holding this 1 and it runs up to 15 ETH.
Oh, like, God, right.
Oh, what do I do? What do I do? Do I leave this community for 15 ETH? Like I have some profit, or do I just hold for dear life? I'm like, 15 ETH is a lot of money. Sell. And then boom, 125 ETH it runs to. Like the bigger your position size that you have in there, the more that you can kind of scale it out appropriately, and you can hit those moonshots. Again, it's all what you want. Like some people are more than happy to just take the money and have eyes forward, but if you're somebody that's going to sit there and just like stew on it and dwell on it, for your own mental health, like taking a different approach can be just as good, right?
But I do like factors of 4. So if you're a baller, I would think in factors of 4, and then just multiply that strategy the way that I said it. But it's as Cuffed is telling us right now, you learn eventually, because man, when you're stuck with 1 of something that moons, you're always left with a tough decision, because every community has perks. Every community can pay you dividends in different ways, whether it's through networking or airdrops or tokens or that, giveaways for the next whitelist. I mean, there's always ways that you can leverage a community, and you don't want to leave. So don't leave yourself in that position. You want to be able to have 2 in the beginning, because there's always the pump you expect, then the pump you don't expect. And you want to have 1 to sell into each of those, and then 2 to have long-term in case you get your moonshot.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly it. I mean, it's such a different dynamic than just trading coins, right? Because they're
because they're not.
wholly, almost infinitely fractionizable. Like you can sell off little chunks of it, or you buy these shit coins where you have 25 billion of them, and you're like, oh, I'll just peel off 10, no big deal, right? And it's a very liquid market, but like, man, dealing with like one or two or three of something is such a tricky game, such a tricky game. So, this is actually a really good time to do some like introspective of work of like what worked for me on the last bull run and how should I position myself for the next one, right? Like really just kind of, do a meditative thing where you can just like look back, hopefully as unbiased as possible and say, this is what my plan should be when the volume starts to come back. And then, do your best to try and stick to it too, because most of the best traders that I've ever met are the ones that actually have a plan and they just execute. They execute really well, right?
Yep. And, most of the time it comes back. FOMO is almost never justified, right? Very few things are Bored Apes and never give you another chance to get in. But if you didn't have any money, that was the case with Bored Apes. They didn't give you a chance.
to give myself a bit of a knock, like I recently did that with CloneX, right?
Right.
I bought it. I bought one for, I think, just over 6 ETH. Some volume and excitement was starting to come back. I think I had it listed for like 9.8. And it was getting close. It was getting close. And I woke up one morning and it was literally the first one on the floor. And I said, oh, that doesn't feel good. And I delisted it. And then, this is very anecdotal, but it dropped back down and the Animus eggs, pulled a lot of the wind out of the sails and extracted some of it from the CloneX. And like, if I had just stuck to my plan, I would have been in profit and could have bought back in. Now, that's the hard thing about only having one is that, like, who knows? It's CloneX. It could have won to 12 ETH, and then I'd be like, that fucking sucks. But I didn't stick with the plan, and that was not a smart move of mine. So I got to rethink what I'm going to do with that CloneX, and if it's just like an indefinite hold at this point, right? But it doesn't feel good to only have that. So
doesn't feel good.
The thing is, most of these projects will do the same thing. I have 33 orbs by BT. There's less than 100 listed, guaranteed 10 ETH plus on the project. So by the time anyone actually finds out, it's too late. I think I know what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Just like Meme Land, no one's heard of it. Creeping up on 10 ETH.
No, is it?
Well, it's 5.5. You got to hit those numbers.
I mean, I guess you aren't wrong in the fact that it is creeping up on 10 ETH, right?
I didn't say it was leaping. I didn't say it hopped in a rocket ship. I said it was falling back.
Feet Picks is also creeping up on 10 ETH.
There you go. That prediction stinks.
Oof. Say we nailed it.
Can stink.
Toe-nailed it.
Oh, there you go.
Nailed it. Yeah. Justin Roiland. What did we talk about with Art Gobblers? I don't know. Rick and Morty. Justin Roiland, Rick and Morty co-creator and founder of NFT project Art Gobblers, has been charged with felony domestic violence for allegations dating back to 2020. I don't know.
Domestic violence is disgusting, and if he did this, he should get prison time and therapy because of it. I don't know what this has to do with NFTs. People are just sharing this story. I love Rick and Morty.
Well, it's not like Art Gobblers wasn't an incredibly prominent project for about 5 minutes.
But I do love a lot of art made by complicated people. And I've learned over time to separate the art from the artist. You've heard the expression, never meet your heroes. But I will emphasize, if he is guilty of domestic violence, which is disgusting and reprehensible, he should serve the just amount of time and go to therapy.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know what this means for the NFT. I mean, there was so much FUD and weird stuff surrounding the Art Gobblers mint with, Andrew Wang and all this stuff. This was all well before then. But I mean, I guess we'll keep an eye on it. But that was, I don't think that was a small piece of news. But Art Gobblers, I mean, we're down to 2 ETH now. It didn't crater, but over the past 2 weeks, yeah, it's not down bad. But I don't know. Art Gobblers never felt incredibly fun to me. I guess that's because I didn't mint it though. So what am I talking about?
Yeah.
I would have taken the 14 ETH for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how much it was? Was it even higher? Might have gotten higher.
It's a $3.5 million coin now. Can I speak about it yet?
What
There's
are we
a
talking
market
about?
cap at which it's not irresponsible anymore.
Yeah. Well, what is that market cap? Are we talking like 50 to 100 million?
On our show, I'm sure I could talk about a $2.5 million coin and it wouldn't move one penny. But on a very, very watched show, sure. I mean, you could move most of these coins. I mean, even coins that have $100 million market cap, the amount of liquidity on the exchanges, you can manipulate these things with 100 grand, which is like, a punt to somebody who has the money to manipulate things.
Free market's not advising you to do that, by the way.
Definitely not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the 75 to 150 people that watch this show on a regular basis, if it's live or recording, know that we do not offer financial advice, and even if we did, it probably wouldn't be very good. So,
because his show is not 24 hours long, and 4 minutes after the show ends, I could be like, I don't like that structure. That's bear or sell. While you're still sitting there like, ooh, FMC was bullish on da-da-da-da. Never copy trade anybody. That's why people say do your own research, but you got to understand how to trade and what to look for, before you never copy trade anyway. It's impossible. Like, it's just hard, especially when you're talking about a show that's 3 times a week and you don't know what I'm doing in between those days.
I try not to know what you're doing either.
Traders change their mind on it. The good traders change their mind on a dime. You never get married to you could come in wildly fucking bullish. That's the thing. And 3 seconds later, I see something I don't like. I'm like, fuck it, dump it, move on.
Well, that's why, again, we always kind of come back to this conversation, but good poker players make good traders in financial markets too, because one card can change everything, right?
Yeah.
Like, you could be sitting with a great hand on the flop, the nuts looks good, the turn can come, and now that hand is garbage. And you got to be able to not be emotionally attached to that stuff either, right? You got to change your mind.
Yep. What mentality is that, my friend? Let us in on your secret. I want to make $1 million in 15 months.
$500,000.
Oh, $500,000. That's still incredible. Unless you started with like 450K, then I'd say that's pretty good.
It's 50% as incredible as $1 million. No, I'm kidding. That's incredible. Dollar cost average by a good project.
We like good projects.
I like dollar cost averaging. I know you don't, but that's the difference in style. I've come to the conclusion that in terms of trading, I'm not great at it. Just is what it is.
Yeah. It's good stuff, Cuffed.
Looking at WGMI, nothing overly exciting.
Everything's chilling. It's all watching ETH. Like, what are you doing, ETH? You look froggy. You look froggy.
Beans didn't even go on a run with that Azuki announcement either. I thought that would be a
lot of people saying the alpha is Beans right now. They're not sure why they haven't moved yet, but a lot of people saying that's the alpha. Got to get the Bean.
Yeah, Beans does feel like if you're relatively liquid, 1.74. I mean, what? It's 20K collection. What is the ratio between apes and mutants right now? I feel like that has to be.
It's 4 to 1 last time I checked.
Well, mutants, apes are sitting at just under 80 ETH, and mutants are sitting at 17. So that's about 5 to 1.
Yeah.
Almost 5 to 1, 4.5 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Azuki is sitting at 15, and beans are sitting at under 2.
So are mutants overvalued or beans undervalued?
Well, that's what I'm trying to wrap my head around, right? Like, why didn't they run with some Azuki announcement? Maybe we are just I just ran over my own foot with the chair. Maybe we are just kind of in a holding pattern right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
How low were they? I mean,
you know,
what? This is December. I don't even have it pulled up. Sorry, guys. December 18th, they were at 1 ETH. They were
well,
down to 0.75 in November. Everything was
when
down then.
when you minted your captains and they opened at 7 ETH, they're actually worth the same right now at 5.5. So that what I'm trying to say to people is people feel like they're getting richer even without the NFT going up, because now a 5.5 ETH NFT is worth the same as a 7 ETH NFT was a few weeks ago. So yeah, your ETH basis isn't going up, but I think you're seeing a pause right now because again, people are seeing the dollar value of it go up, and after the year we just had, you can expect those first two rallies for people to be grabbing dollars. You know?
No, it makes sense for sure. Cuffed. I guess my only question for you is you don't trade a single bit. You just buy and hold. Do you take profits, or do you just accumulating? There's no judgment either way, but just curious. Free market, what do you got going on today? It's Friday. What do you got going on this weekend? Anything?
Friday. It is
Friday night.
It is a beautiful weekend coming up here in New York.
Is it like weather's supposed to be nice?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm gonna look outside. Are we snowing still? Yes, we are. Snow day.
Snow, yay.
All right. You got anything else you want to talk about? Do the old refresh here, see if anything interesting popped up.
No. So the S&P is back to 4K, which
bounced back?
Did bounce back, which we thought was going to happen earlier. Again, guys,
Did you say that?
I guess there is one last thing I want to do. I hope I didn't not emphasize it enough. Breakaway momentum, which signal we hit yesterday in markets, and I will get a link. That is the strongest bottoming signal there is. Buy weakness is my plan. You can figure out your plan, but my plan, if I do see weakness, I buy it. That's a change. Last year, if you saw strength, you sold it. This year, we do different.
We are back almost to a $1 trillion market cap on crypto. So what? We're almost back to half an apple?
Correct. I think that we are closing that SBF gap with haste. And I do think we could come in Monday and see ETH at $1,600. That's how crazy a weekend it could be. It's been a while since we had a 10-15% up day in spot. And honestly, that's not crazy. When you think about where we've come from, I know we've been depressed a long time and it's going to feel amazing. But this is exactly what an echo bubble looks and feels like. And this weekend could be big for crypto. It could cool off too. I mean, it has been one hell of a run. But we are primed. It's one of those, if we do get a cool off this weekend, I hope you've been keeping your list of what you want to buy.
I was just reading Twitter. Speaking of FTX, Kobe saying, watching the Alameda liquidators try to use Ethereum is so painful. They liquidated an Aave position that they could have repaid. They spent more on gas than the notional dollar they were sweeping. They've been stuck trying to move locked tokens. Sir, just hire somebody that's used it before. That's not good.
Not surprising either. Remember, guys, this is a law firm. This is a law firm that obviously specializes in this type of thing. They fashion themselves as the good guys who come in and try to help people who have been scammed by companies. Their last job that made headlines was Enron, all right? And they don't know shit about the fucking blockchain. They don't know anything about crypto. These are not sophisticated people, and they're full of themselves. How much outside help do you think they have in there? Crypto natives, do you think they have in there that are helping? None. I mean, it's a joke, and I think It's one reason SBF said that he regretted almost immediately going into the bankruptcy proceedings that they did. I think things obviously continued to get worse for Sam, and who knows what choices he would have made.
Apparently, he's blogging now to explain his innocence. The lawyers are shaking their fists, I'm sure.
Are they?
I don't know.
Maybe they're approving each blog post. Maybe they're right.
Maybe it's all part of the master plan.
Mm-hmm.
He was misprescribed drugs. Then he wasn't in a sound state of mind.
Gold is $1,920. It has been a while since gold has been that expensive. And if you own gold miners, you are doing the dance, boy.
Whew. All right, guys. I think that's probably a good time to wrap up when we start talking about gold.
Newmont Mining. NEM.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in once again to the, I guess, what is this, 182nd episode of the AM show. Do us a huge solid and hit the that like button on the YouTube thing if you're still around. That would be nice of you. We appreciate that. Try not to ask for too much. Hitting a thumbs up button doesn't seem like a big ask. If you don't, whatever. All good. Yeah, we kind of just riffed on a bunch of different topics today. Nothing too crazy. Mutant hound collars, whatever. Feet picks. Azuki. What else we talk about? I don't know. Whatever. Breakaway momentum. Is that it? That's the term?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Nailed it. Okay. Anyways, we appreciate everyone's time. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. If you are getting snow, stay safe out there. If you're not getting snow, that's fortunate for you. You live in a much better climate than I do. Although I like the snow. Whatever. I'm going to shut up now. Guys, thank you so much. We'll do it again on Monday morning. Free market. Do the thing.
Good luck at the tables, DGen. 1,600 ETH on Monday. See you then.